Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Hope everyone's doing well. I think it's Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. Just type in good morning here. This is show number 72. I actually said it in the beginning for a change for my podcast people. And I took up a couple things. Good morning out there. One, I got the soccer ball that I'm bouncing around, right? And I thought it was interesting. Here at 5 a.m. Mester Scrum, we talk about Agile and Scrum. I'm Greg Mester. I'm an Agile coach and Scrum Master. I jump back and forth between the jobs because it depends on what's going on and what seems fun. I enjoy this stuff, but we're here to talk about Agile and Scrum and business and how things work. And the other day, and I got the soccer ball because today I got to help my wife coach the soccer team for my kids because she's by herself today. But I was watching the other day a bunch of young people, probably 20s, I would say. They're out there in a soccer field. They were immigrants from Africa, and they were really good. I'm just watching these guys play soccer. I'm so used to watching 5 and 6-year-olds and little kids play soccer, and I'm watching these guys play, and they were really good, and they were doing exercises, and they were kicking and that's why I was thinking the soccer ball one because I got today. And plus a lot of soccer going out there, right? But they were doing a lot of practice exercise, right? They were practicing. And why? And yesterday we talked about daily scrum and practicing correctly and getting better at it, right? And sometimes we think in IT, well, what's practice? Well, this is practice, right? Prepping for it, thinking about it, getting ready for what we're about to do for the week. Practice makes better. This is interesting, just watching their playing where they were kicking the ball and the ball was never hitting the ground, right? That was pretty cool. Anyway, I was pretty impressed with what their level of practice was amazing. And they do it I guess they do it once a week or whatever, however they do it. But it was pretty cool. And then we were talking the other day about Scrum, the daily Scrum, and just practicing it and getting better. So I just saw that. I saw my soccer ball, and if you need a talking stick, change it up. It's soccer season now, right? Well, at least here in the States, soccer season. Toss a soccer ball as a talking stick. There's probably so many things that you can bring in every day just to change it up. Talking stick, just to say, what's that? Why do we have a soccer ball? Maybe we'll play some soccer later. It'd be pretty cool if you could headbutt it, right? head the ball, boom, and go to your next guy, or kick it like they did, where you're bouncing on your feet, and when you're done talking, and as soon as you're about to drop it, you can't talk anymore. Maybe that would be a different way of having a daily stand-up, right? You can only talk as long as you can bounce the ball on your foot without it hitting the ground, and that's how long you get to talk in daily stand-up. Anyway, that would be goofy, but I was just thinking about that. So a couple things. I got a couple questions. One was a PO question the other day. It was a very interesting question. I had to think about it because I told the person it's either a trap or they really do operate that way. It was like a trick question because the question was written in such a way that had so much anti-agile, anti-patterns in it that either they were asking you to see if you knew what you're supposed to do as a product owner and a PI, or how you're supposed to operate, or do they really operate that way? And they just wanted to know how you would do it. So I had to say it was like kind of thing. And then we're going to talk about HR a little bit and doing exit surveys. I think I want to put a section in there about HR for one of my playlists as we go. I'll put sections on related to HR and Agile because everybody asks about that. So I want to put a little thing in there, and still going to do the leadership thing, just not today. Taking a break from that, and we'll go from there. So the question in the PO was like, okay, if you're a PO for PI, how do you get your features or your stories scheduled for a PI? I think it was close to that. It's close enough to that. And I'm like, or how do you make sure they get done? Well, it's a tricky question because I've seen a lot of PIs where the PO say, well, you got to get all this done within this PI, and it's got to be delivered at the end of the PI. Well, technically, that's an anti-pattern. Technically, that's not how it works. The product owner should come into a PI with a prioritized list of features that they want to get done. You hand that prioritized list. So here's the biggest value that I know of. You give that to the teams. The teams would then size the features and give you some feedback back on what's possible. If your features don't make it in the PI, ideally, you might prioritize or just accept it. But you as a PI, technically in Agile and Scrum, do not have any control whether or not something gets brought into a PI or not. It's the team and what the team's going to work. Because one, you don't know the sizes, how much work and complexity there is to get the job done. And that's the team's job, is to size and estimate it, tell you here's what we think we can do priority wise and when we can get it done. And you reevaluate once you get the feedback from the team. It was a trick question. Well, unless you are an organization who dictates the size, like the PO would come in and say, hey, this feature is a small, this feature is an extra large, based on what I think it is. And, a lot of times you get in that where the product owners size everything super extra small because they want it all done, right? And then the team looks at it. Well, no, this is actually more work than what you thought. So I thought that was interesting. But it's important that the product owner is ready for the PI, more importantly, right? They should have the information provided to the team so they can get that feedback back and then adjust and see how that works. And other organizations, again, they will, I need everything and here's my date and you got to get it all done. And the team's like, what? We can't get all that work done. There's too much work to get done in the PI, but I need it all done. You're supposed to be flexible enough to get what you can during that capacity, right? Out of that capacity. It's not a question of getting things over capacity in amount of time. That's not how it's supposed to work. And mature teams figure that after a while, how much work they can really get done and what the expectations are. They don't put these over expectations and crazy thoughts. So that was kind of like a trick question, but some companies run that way, right? So I said to the person, I said, well, it's got twofold in it. One, they want to see how you would handle it. Two, or they want to know whether or not you work in an anti-pattern universe for the product owner and PI. So it could be one or the other, right? So anyway, it's something to think about. And the product owners do not dictate what's in the PI. The product owners offer a prioritized list of features that they would like in the PI, and then the teams come back and say which of those prioritized features they can get. If there's something that the product owner really wants, they may switch it around to get more work or some sizing or whatever based on sizing, what they think they might want to do, because until they get the sizing, they really don't know what they can do, right? So that's the idea. The other thing, this is 5amMesterScrum. Please like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up as we go. Thumbs up, right? And hit the little bell, as Eddie would say, so that you can get notes when we go live. We'll talk about HR and exit surveys. One of the things I remember years ago, I haven't seen it as much as used as a consultant, and I'm really surprised that a lot of these companies aren't doing exit surveys. Consultants come and go. We still give 2 weeks notice. Why isn't the companies doing exit surveys for their consultants? They want to know why the consultants are leaving or what the time frame is and what's going on next and things like that. I'm kind of surprised. And we talked about leadership and bullying the other day. And one of my recommendations was, when people leave, when you have the turnover rate, because you're talking about turnover rate as a metric, really, if you have a good HR group or someone, or like me as an Agile coach, You should do an exit survey. Find out from a agile transformational purpose, how did it go? What did they think about it? Was that one of the reasons why they left? And come up with a series of questions that HR might want to ask from an agile perspective. How was it? Did you think it was too much work? Did you, all the anti-patterns, right? Maybe we should ask the anti-patterns or the positive aspects, however HR wants to craft it. But we should be asking agile type questions during exit interviews, so we can better quantify what the turnover rate and what it's about. Anyway, I just wanted to add that, something I think HR should do. We'll do more. I think I'll add some questions, but really, besides why are you leaving, what did you think of SAFe, or what did you think of Scrum, or what did you think of Scrum and Scale, or DAT, or whatever agile methodology you're using? Was it good? Did you feel like you were over committing? Did you think you were overworked? Do you think how many hours a day did you work? Did you work 40 hours a day? Did you work 50 hours a day? Did you work 60 hours a day? How much independence did you think you had in doing development work? Or did somebody have to tell you every day what to do? Did you feel there was a lot of bottlenecks? Because, at this exit interview, there might be a lot of truth that'll come out that you'll find that you don't get in the normal workplace, because they're leaving. So they a lot of times will tell you the truth, and it's probably not a bad idea. And sometimes you can have your agile coach do some exit interviews too. We're more of an independent. We're not in the managerial ranks of making decisions. We don't necessarily hire and fire anybody. It might be a good person to have to have that discussion. And I recommend, as agile coaches, offering that to your teams, to your managers, as a way of supporting them. Hey, I can do exit interviews, and ask how the agile went and give feedback back to you. But that's what I would think. So it's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. We're going to be ending on time today. It is Wednesday, 5:49 now. So cool. We're not even into the 6 hours. So woohoo! We're into 5 a.m. I had to get too much stuff to do. Please give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe, share with your friends, share on LinkedIn. We're on all the social medias. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube right here, right? Facebook, Instagram, right? So there's all those that are out there that we're on. We're on different podcasts, Spotify, Google, iTunes, Breakers, a couple of them. Well, we're using Podbean, but there's a few other out there. And if you have some podcasts that we're not on, you're looking for us that you listen to, please feel free to give us a message, question. Say, hey, I listen to this podcast channel. Haven't heard you guys yet. Let me know. And then any social media really I like to use too. And we'll get on them too. And again, thank you very much for listening, and hope we're helping. And keep those questions coming in. We're going to put some more stuff on the POPI thing, because there's little other avenues I want to go into details. But you all have a great day. Happy scrumming, and enjoy it, man. Have some fun. Take care. Bye.